Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the part 1 of module 2 of the AIGP course. We are going to learn what are the harms that a AI system can bring and what are its negative impacts. We will also learn what are the principles of building a trustworthy and responsible AI. So let's dive into it. Let us first understand what is the difference between an impact and a harm. Any effect, whether it is a positive or a negative effect on the people, society, or the organization or the industry that an AI can cause, is referred as impact. And harm is basically the negative consequences that an AI system can bring. Overall effect, whereas harm is mostly the negative impact. Harm can include the discrimination, any safety and security risks that a AI system can bring, any misinformation that it can give, and so on and so forth. AI systems can bring potential harms in different categories, like it can bring individual harms, group harms like biases on certain section of the society and etc. And then it can bring societal harms, organizational harms, and environmental harms or the ecosystem harms. Let's understand each of these harms. Individual harms are the harms that directly affect a particular person. It could be mostly biased or maybe in discrimination way. The areas of harm can be in employment and hiring, insurance or social benefits. It could be in mortgage or housing, when you want to lend your house to someone, or during the tenant screening or mortgage approvals, then there could be a chance of discrimination between the applications based on their race, gender, or economic conditions. uh, it could be uh, it could also have an educational harm, like AI which is used in admission for student selection. It may deny opportunities to qualified applicants based on the training data or algorithm. And also credit and financial services, if you're using AI for making decisions on granting loan or approving loan, then it can also apply differences and it can unfairly deny loan applicants. So these are some of the areas where uh, AI can cause an individual harm. Then next is the group harms. Group harms are the harms that affect one particular section or community or class of people or maybe a group of people. For example, facial recognition bias. AI, which is used for facial recognition system, they often tend to perform differently across different demographical groups, leading to unequal accuracy. For example, AI facial recognition software, which was used by London police, it shows it was 80% inaccurate, and this led to bias policing. So these kind of problems can happen, as well as the ability to track individuals online that would lead to discrimination using those type of system. Next is the mass surveillance. AI powered surveillance can actually continuously monitor individuals, which raises privacy concerns. So that is also a harm. Next is the civil rights. Any harms to freedom of assembly and protest due to tracking and profiling individuals. When any person is protesting in a group, and then if you continuously track this person, what where and all he's going and protesting, then you are actually attacking his freedom. So that again will become a harm to his civil rights. So you have to be very careful when you're using a AI system. You'll have to think in all these terms, like what kind of harm your AI system can cause to the individual or to the group. Next is a societal harm. Societal harms are the harms that is having a democratic process or participation, like impact on the society, and safety and security is one of the thing. For example, disinformation that will also have an impact on the society, right? Like the AI can spread any false information or any misleading information related to the society, to a specific community, or to the political information, whatever, then it can be misleading. Echo chambers. See, users are often exposed to information that are matching to their existing beliefs, right? For example, on Instagram, if you're watching one sort of reel, then the algorithm is based in such a way that it shows you only those kind of information. Say, if you're saying yoga is good, then it'll give you only those videos, but it will not give you what are the drawbacks of doing intense yoga without any good supervision. So those kind of chambers it'll create for you, right? Limiting diverse perspective and then increasing social prioritization. So this is one of the disadvantages or harms of AI. Deepfakes, like these AI generated videos or images or any kind of audio which can actually manipulate your opinion or your reaction to any of the situation, correct? It can be very, very risky. When it comes to safety and security, AI powered weapons that can identify and attack targets without any human control. You don't have to actually attack the human, but you can start pushing those kind of information, false information, or create a deep fake, track his movement, and then try to create that kind of situations and scenarios that it can impact his safety and security, then that is also a harm. Concern that without sufficient oversight, system can evolve and may be able to attack randomly without even being monitored. So safety and security is also one such concern. Next is the environmental harms. See, as AI continues to expand and it starts giving you so many benefits, we also understand that AI uses a lot of energy, water, and natural resources to make these machines work. Correct? There's high carbon emission. Training even one single AI large model can produce over 626,000 of carbon dioxide, lbs of carbon dioxide, which is all about like 5 times the lifetime emission of an average American car. Massive energy demand, demanding developing even an advanced AI model, it requires a huge amount of electricity, right? Because you need to place so much of pressure on the power grids, and then the increasing environment impact it is going to have is immense. Even all these generative AI, they consume lot of power, and then to cool them, you will have to use lot of water consumption. This is actually adding up to the water usage as well. Lithium resource challenge. AI infrastructure depends on batteries that require lithium, whose extraction consumes large amount of water. So these rising demands and then the limit amount of supply that we have is actually a very huge concern when it comes to our environmental and ecosystem. So these are some of the environmental harms. See, when it comes to an organizational harms, it can cause a reputational damage to your organization, the cultural and economical damage, legal and regulatory harms, and acceleration. Obviously, AI risks are difficult to predict because the massive amount volumes of data, the rapid processing, the complexity of the AI system. As AI impact can be broader than traditional software, strong governance and controls are essential to detect and manage these kind of risks. If your AI is not working fine and if it is causing any kind of damage or harm, then you'll have to actually face a lot of financial losses as well. In reality, you should understand that the AI is built by humans. And if your data is not accurate and if you're not using the right algorithm, then there can be flaws in your AI system as well. That will lead to unfair outcomes. So, this will actually cause a lot of cultural harm as well. Next, economical AI failures can lead to significant remediation expenses, legal liabilities, and costly litigations. AI must comply with industry regulations, privacy like GDPR, DPDA. Okay, every country will have their own legal and regulatory requirements. AI, when you're building it, make sure that it complies with all these legal and regulatory requirements, as well as the privacy and the tax and competitive laws. All these things you have to keep in mind so that you don't end up paying a lot of fines, and you don't have a lot of operational restrictions. So involve all these governance and ethics right at the very beginning of your development of an AI cycle so that you can identify and mitigate these kind of emerging risks. What are the other potential harms that can cause by using AI? AI can spread lot of misinformation, okay, which can actually reduce the trust on the AI itself. If the AI is being used by any government or public institution or maybe even a company for that matter, if it is giving you misinformation, then definitely you will stop uh, trusting that AI. Correct? AI system cannot reliably distinguish facts from false or misleading information. So this is one of the drawbacks of AI because technology is completely depending on the data that is being used to train the model and your algorithm. So technologies like facial recognition, they can enable mass surveillance and misuse a lot of personal data as well. AI can profile and track individual across platforms. You remember, like, see, these days, if you buy one product, or maybe if you're browsing, AI can make a profile of you, and then it can track your individual behavior across different platforms as well. So often without their knowledge or consent. So you are not giving any consent to the AI saying, okay, you can track my behavior on this website. But still, at the back end, AI is gathering all these information and then using the data analytics and then trying to analyze your behavior, which is again one of the major concern because there is no consent given by the user, right? So over reliance on predictive analytics, then whatever, see, supposing you're watching one particular video which is, say, having one political view, and then when you're watching this video, you'll be getting the similar kind of view, similar kind of videos, or the similar kind of content, correct? So you will not be able to get the other perspective of the same topic for that matter. So in that case, the predictive analysis, sometimes it's not right. You cannot completely depend on these tools. You have to use your own perspective, your own thinking capability, try to understand things from different angles as well. So being over reliance on these predictive analysis can create inaccurate or unfair profiles, threatening to privacy and civil liberties. So this is also one of the harms that AI has. AIGP talks about harms taxonomy. So, what is harms taxonomy? Even though this is not testable in the exam, but you should understand that a harms taxonomy is nothing but a structured framework of how you, whenever you're trying to build an AI system, it says that you have to follow a harms taxonomy. That's nothing but try to identify, then categorize and assess the different types of harm that one AI system can cause. Okay. So once you identify that, that's what it says. It just says identify the AI system. Okay. Identify the stakeholders, then apply the harms taxonomy. Harm taxonomy says that you identify all the possible categories of harm. Remember all the categories of harm that we learned: individual harms, group harms, societal harms, organizational harms. So try to categorize the AI harms in those and then try to estimate the likelihood and the severity of each harm. Understand, okay, what is the possibility of, say, bias? Okay, if you're saying it is an individual harm and you're building a AI tool which is actually a AI chatbot which you think can have an individual harm, that is nothing but bias. The Your AI chatbot can be biased to one specific group of people, then that is one kind of harm that you have identified. But then you try to understand how often, what is the likelihood of this bias coming into picture by my AI chatbot. And if it happens, what is the severity? Is it going to cause a huge damage to my reputation, or is it going to cause a huge financial loss to me? Try to understand the severity of the harm and then try to implement some mitigation measures. Maybe you retrain your AI model with correct data so that once it is trained, you do some retest and then do some human review, try to do some monitoring and then try to see how transparent your AI model is. So try to include some mitigation step. After you include the mitigation step, monitor how your AI is working now. Is it working fine? Is it giving you the good results? And then you can redeploy it and then do the retest again to detect if it is again generating those kind of bias or not. Okay. Harms taxonomy ensures that they also consider broader impacts such as discrimination, misinformation, economic effects, and societal consequences. Harms taxonomy is used in AI governance when you're assessing an AI system. And basically, these are some of the steps which you will use to assess your AI system and then apply the harms taxonomy. The next topic is the principles of trustworthy and responsible AI. Note, this is highly testable in the examination. First, let us understand the OECD AI principles. OECD is nothing but an organization for economic cooperation and development, and they have developed certain principles in relation with how a AI system must be developed and what are the principles that a AI system must follow. The OECD has a set of principles specific to promoting trustworthy AI. See, you develop an AI, but how trustworthy is this AI? How responsible is this AI in giving the output or performing the task? How reliable is this AI? So, to make the AI more trustworthy, reliable, and responsible, OECD has set out certain principles. What is that? Inclusive growth and sustainable development. It says that AI that is developed should support inclusive growth. It should not be, it is just being partial or being biased, or then it is just supporting only one section of the society. No, it should support inclusive growth. It should be sustainable, as well as it should benefit the well-being of human beings. That's what, and human well-being, while promoting responsible AI practices among all the stakeholders, among all the people who are using the AI. Next, it says about human rights, fairness, and privacy. It states that AI systems should be designed in a way that it respects the rule of law, human rights, democratic values, diversity, and include appropriate safeguards to ensure it is fair and it is providing justice to everyone. That's what it should not, it should not impact any privacy of the user. It should be fair and it should follow all the human rights. That is the principle that your AI system must follow by default. Then it talks about transparency and explainability. Whatever output that your AI is generating, you should be able to see how it is generating that output, how the output is being generated. That is nothing but transparency. And how it is generated, how it calculated to reach out the output. Say, for example, if you say that you give an image to your AI chatbot, and then it will give you an output saying what kind of image this is. Maybe it is a cat image or a dog image or a human being. Then it should be able to explain you how it has reached the output, what data was used, what algorithm was used. So it should be able to explain, and at the same time, it should be transparent to give you that information. AI should be transparent, allowing people to understand when they interact with AI. That means when you're interacting with an AI, the system should prompt and tell you, please be mindful that you're now interacting with a AI chatbot. You're not interacting with a human. So that kind of transparency your AI chatbot should provide, and enabling them to question or challenge the decision. So the user should be able to question and challenge whatever decision that AI has generated. It should be able to explain. Next, it talks about robustness, security, and safety. AI system must be reliable. It's not that, at one point of time it is giving you an answer A, but with the same input, after a certain time, it is giving you answer B. It should not be like that. You should be able to rely on your AI system. It should be secure. It should be safe throughout the life cycle. Okay, we will understand what is the life cycle of an AI system. We'll understand what are the different stages of the development of an AI life cycle very soon in the coming videos. But just understand that your AI software which is getting developed should follow all the secure principles of software development, safe principles of the software development life cycle, with continuously analyzing whatever the risk that it has identified. It has to do the risk assessment, it has to do monitoring, and it has to do traceability of all the risks. So you're developing a secure and a safe AI tool. Next is accountability. Someone should be able to take the accountability of all the output that your AI is generating. Organization and individuals developing or using AI must be responsible. If my company is using the AI, okay, so if I'm a banking company and I have an AI chatbot in my banking website, then the users, whoever are logging in and using this AI chatbot, if this AI gives any kind of misinformation, or if it is being biased, or it is just disclosing all the personal information of the users, then who will be responsible in this situation? It is the bank who will be responsible. So it says that the bank will take the accountability. Organization and individuals developing or using AI must be responsible for ensuring AI system operates ethically and comply with all the applicable laws and standards and rules and regulations, etc. That is what is the OECD AI principles. There are certain ethical principles of AI as well. Your AI system should be lawful. That means your AI system must comply with all the applicable laws where it is being developed and used. Say if my AI system is developed and used in Europe, then it should follow all the GDPR regulations, or any other country, just follow their local laws and regulations, protect all the individual rights, and aligning with legal and ethical standard. Then it talks about safety. That is, the AI should be developed and deployed responsibly. You should prioritize all the safety and well-being of the people and the environment, while minimizing all the potential harms. You remember we learned about the societal harms, we learned about the economical harms, the reputational harms, or even the financial harms, what the environmental harms, right? So it should make sure that it is developed in a very responsible way so that it is safe and secure. Next is bias protection. Your system should identify and reduce and prevent any biases, okay, to ensure that it is fair, it is equitable, and inclusive of outcomes for diverse individuals and communities. How many diverse communities you have who are using your AI system, it should still be able to be bias free. Transparency. Organization should clearly communicate how AI system is working, how it is reaching out to that output, what are the tools it is using, which data it was trained on, what algorithm it is using. So it should be very transparent what they use and how decisions are made to build the trust and accountability. So your AI system should be very transparent. Then is choice. Individuals should be informed and empowered to make decisions about how their personal data is collected. So your organization is developing an AI system, say bank AI system, which is an AI chatbot. Then all the users should be given that information that your data is being collected and whether it will be used for training or not. But if the users say, no, don't use our data for training, then they should have the choice to back out from their personal data collection as well. So that kind of choice the users should have. Human intervention. Wherever there is some critical decision to be made, let not the AI make the decisions. Wherever there is some, hiring, some final stage of hiring has to be done, or some medical output needs to be shared, or that you need to derive into some conclusion, then please do not let the AI take the decision. Have a human intervention, especially like, for example, if you have developed an agentic AI and it is performing a lot of tasks, then make sure that this AI agent should not be allowed to delete any files. Okay, whenever it wants to delete any files, then a human intervention should happen, and then the human should manually log in and say, okay, yes, you can now go ahead and delete it. Only after this approval stage is there, only then the agentic AI can perform the action. These kind of human intervention should be included. Users should have the option for human review of significant AI driven decisions that may impact their rights, opportunities, or well being. Next is security. Organizations are responsible for ensuring AI systems are secure, reliable, and protected throughout a strong cybersecurity governance, risk management, and practices. So that is the principles of the ethical principles of AI. Next is the principles of responsible AI. What are the principles of responsible AI? This is something that you should know, and it is highly testable in the exam. One or two questions is for sure going to appear in the exam. So prepare this well. Understand these four concepts. They may give you a multiple choice question and say, okay, which of these belongs to the principle of responsible AI, which does not belong to, what does it mean, and things like that. What are the principles of responsible AI? Human centric AI. AI should enhance human capabilities, support human making decisions, and create positive outcome that improve human lives and well being. So it should not cause any damage to the human life. Like it should not be used to harm the human beings. Like the AI system should not give you the recipe to make a nuclear weapon, right? Anyone can log in and say, okay, can you give me the recipe to make a nuclear weapon? Then no, this kind of AI should not be allowed to be developed in first place. And then even if AI can give you, then you have to maintain some guardrails that the AI is not able to generate these kind of information. So always the focus should be human centric. Next is accountability. Organizations remain responsible for the AI systems they develop, deploy, or use, ensuring they are safe, secure, reliable, resilient, fair, regardless of the number of contributors involved. No matter how many users are involved in developing this AI, you have to still make sure that someone is held accountable for the output that this AI is generating. Okay, someone is responsible and accountable. That transparency and explainability. I've explained this in the previous slide as well. Organizations should provide a clear understandable information about AI development, what tools have been used to train the AI, how it is operating, who developed the AI. The stakeholders should know when they are interacting with the AI. So if I'm a bank employee or if I'm a user of the bank, then if I'm talking to an AI chatbot, then the chatbot should start the conversation with the statement saying, I'm a chatbot and you're interacting with a AI system. So that kind of transparency you should provide, because humans will think, okay, maybe I'm talking to some other human in the other end. So that should not happen. With AI, explainability helps understand how AI, its limitation and potential biases, building trust and confidence. So why are we having all these explainability and transparency? So that people also understand how AI is working, what are its limitations, what are the potential biases, and how do you build the trust and confidence. The last one, privacy and enhanced AI. Organizations should protect individual privacy by responsibly collecting, storing, and using personal data. See, there will be situations where your AI will be using a lot of PII information. And in those cases, your organization should have certain guardrails or should follow certain principles where you are responsibly collecting that information, minimize the information that you're collecting, processes in a secure way, encrypt the data when you're storing it or when the data is getting transferred. So, responsibly, you should be able to perform all these tasks when you're dealing with personal identifiable information. Privacy enhancing technologies helps data use while reducing the risk of misuse, breaches, and unauthorized access. You should have personal privacy enhancing technologies like anonymization, encryption, these kind of principles you need to follow to make sure that you're avoiding any kind of misuse or any kind of unauthorized access to your data. With this, we come to the end of part one of module two. In my next video, we will understand the life cycle of the development of an AI system. So stay tuned. See you in the next video. Thank you for staying with me and thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye bye.